This has been like so hard and it's taken a toll on me. Oh my god, I didn't think I was gonna cry. When I found this place, I was so happy because I was finally gonna be living on my own, and I really loved this apartment and everything about it seemed so perfect. I had been living at home with my parents, driving 3.5 hours to get to work, and I was doing that for so long, but then I saw this TikTok audio from this guy where he was like, you know, just take your next paycheck and get yourself an apartment, and that's what I did. And for the short time that I had it, like, I was the happiest that I had ever been, like, in so long.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.
You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide.
Welcome to another Facts or Opinion where everybody's got a fact and everybody's got an opinion. Imagine this. Imagine you being single, trying to get yourself some independence. You move from up under the wings of your mother and your father, and you go looking for your own place. You got a job. You basically work at the airport and you find your first place, but then run into a situation where the place you renting from is infested with rats. Just like in this situation, this young lady was a flight attendant. She moved to Miami. She's paying $17.50 for a furnished apartment to then turn around and be living with rats. I can't make this up. So let's check this out. And y'all tell me what y'all think.
Just moved to Miami, Florida last week, and today I'm going to show you what $17.50 gets you in Miami, Florida. So I found this apartment on Facebook Marketplace. It took me forever to find this place because there are so many scams on Facebook Marketplace, but let me tell you, you just have to keep digging and you will find the best finds, and I think this apartment was so perfect for me. $17.50 a month, water, electric, Wi-Fi is an extra $100 a month flat, and then she came fully furnished. So I'm going to give you a tour right now. So this is the front door, and then right when you walk in you have a nice full-length mirror for the fit checks, and then this is the living room slash kitchen. So far this is the only piece of furniture that I have bought for this apartment. Actually, my mom got this for me, which was super nice. The rug, the table, the pictures came with the apartment. The only downside is that the kitchen living room does not have a window, but that's one of the things that I had to give up to stay in my budget because everything in Miami is over $2,000. And then right over here we have the air conditioning unit, and I'll open it up for you so you can see. The only thing that I have in here is like my laundry stuff and then a broom and Trader Joe's bags because I'm a Trader Joe's hoe. This was listed as a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, but I think because my bedroom does not have a door, it would be considered a studio technically. Anyways, this makes up for not having a window in the living room because there's 3 windows in here. There's so much light in here, and this is literally my sanctuary. So every piece of furniture in here as well came with the unit, including the TV. I did not buy any of this furniture. I just bought the bedding. Even the pictures came with it. And then right over here we have the closet, which is fully mirrored. So the closet is small, but then again, I really do not have a lot of stuff. I don't have a lot of clothes. I got rid of a lot of stuff when I moved out of the country. I have not organized anything yet because I just moved in last week on the 15th. But so far I set up a little bookcase for all my books. There's the shelf up here, which I think I can get some organizational stuff because there's a lot of room up here to store more things if I needed. And then also on this side we have the other half of the closet. Okay, so next up for the bathroom. So I hung this curtain up because there is no door leading into the bathroom, and I wanted to have a little separation, especially with the windows in the back because there's like a school right across the street and I don't want people seeing all my goodies, okay? So anyways, this is my bathroom. Again, I don't really have much because I just moved in. I have my laundry right here on the floor, and then there is a door leading into the toilet and the shower, thank goodness. But this is the bathroom, the shower. I always said I hated shower doors like this. I know it's a popular thing in Europe, but honestly I've gotten used to it and it's really not that bad and I don't mind it. Also, another thing I love about this mirror, I've always wanted one of these. It's like the touchscreen, so you turn the light on and off, and then it also has this button so when you're showering it'll like defog the mirror. So anyways, that's it. She's small but mighty, and it honestly feels so good to have my own apartment. It's gonna be a struggle. I'm literally so broke now, but we are going to make it because all that matters is that I live on my own now and I feel like such a big girl and it's so amazing. It's such a good feeling and I feel so proud of myself. My apartment is infested with rats. So y'all remember that video I posted about the apartment that I found on Facebook Marketplace and I was like, oh my god, this apartment's so amazing. It's too good to be true. Well, it was too good to be true. I'm going to try to fit this whole story into the 10 minutes that I have so I don't make multiple parts. But before I get into the story time, I just want to ask everyone to like this video, comment, interact in any way that you can so I can get my views up, so I can get some money, so I can have money to get the fuck out of this apartment. So this is a trigger warning for anyone that doesn't like rats. I will be showing what the rat traps caught, so just be prepared. So I moved into this apartment on November 15th and on November 30th, it was like 10 o'clock at night, I'm chilling in bed and then all of a sudden I start hearing noises in my living room. So at first I thought it was my neighbors because honestly the walls are so thin, like sometimes I can hear their conversations and hear the music they're playing. Well, I just chalked it up to be that. Then I kept hearing it and it sounded louder. So I was like, oh my god, there's no way that I just moved in here and this place is like haunted. So then I was like, no, this sounds like something. So I went into my living room and I looked at like the boxes that I had in there that I had unpacked and hadn't thrown out yet. And I was checking them to see maybe if there was like, you know, an insect or like a roach crawling in there because you know how sometimes you hear them crawling on paper. And I didn't see anything. And then I remembered a few days prior, I had saw out of my window because like I'm on the second floor and there's like a roof right out of this window and I saw a rat run across the roof and jump in the tree. So I was like, I think it's a rat. So the next morning I text my landlord and I was like, hey, like, you know, I heard something in the closet. I think it might be a rat, yada, yada, yada. And so she was like, yeah, your neighbor complained about the same thing. So we're gonna send pest control today. Also, I forgot to mention it's my AC closet. So it's just like a closet where the AC unit is. And the only thing I kept in there was like laundry detergent and my broom. And there's like a gaping hole in the floor. It's like this big for like the pipe to come through for the AC unit. So when I moved in, when I was showing my dad like the video of my apartment, he's like, why is there a hole like that big in the floor? And I was like, I don't know. I know there's a pipe coming through, but like they probably just didn't build it properly. So when the pest control came the next day, they were like, yeah, it looks like they're coming in and out of that hole. He said a rat trap in the closet by the hole. So then that night I had such a hard time falling asleep because I was so scared. So I was just so exhausted that I ended up falling asleep. So then I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear the noises. I hear the rat crawling in the closet. I have a hook where I have plastic bags hanging and then I heard it crawling all over that. So then I ended up falling asleep again and then I woke up to a sound, which it sounded like the rat trap, but then later on I kept hearing noises, and that's because there was more than one coming in and out of that hole. So the next morning, this is what I find. So the next morning, pest control came back, they took care of everything, and then the maintenance guy came to seal up the hole. So I'm thinking everything's all fine and dandy. I go about living my life. So flash forward to January 9th. So I had just woken up and then I start hearing noises in my living room and it sounded like a plastic bag rustling. And then at first I just thought it was my neighbors again because, you know, the walls are thin. Then I hear plastic bags rustling and then I was like, I just went grocery shopping last night and I left empty plastic bags on my dining room table. So I go out there, I'm looking around, I'm paranoid because obviously the first thing I thought was a rat because I literally have PTSD from this situation. So every weird noise that I hear, I'm like, it's a rat. So I go in my living room, I'm looking around, I don't see anything. So I happen to slowly go to pick up the plastic bag and a rat runs across the freaking counter. It leaps onto the floor, hits the floor with a thud. I don't know where it went. Listen, I never thought that I would be the type of person in a scary situation to like freeze and not know what to do. I thought it would be like screaming and running. But no, I stood there frozen because I was in shock. I was like, I literally cannot believe that this is happening right now. And then I saw the rat running and at first it looked like it was running towards me. So you best believe I ran and I leaped onto my bed. I had no idea where it went. I texted my landlord, she didn't answer right away. So I called her and I said, listen, there's a rat in my apartment. You need to like have someone come. So then she's like, I'm gonna contact pest control. This was at 10 in the morning, mind you. 12 o'clock rolls around, I didn't hear anything from her, so I text her and I was like, hey, can you let me know like around what time someone's coming? 1 o'clock hits, I text her again, I'm like, hey, like, you know, is somebody coming? I think I text her again at 3 o'clock. I'll add the messages just so you can read them. 4 o'clock rolls around, she finally responds to me. She basically told me that nobody can come until the following day. So I was like, do you just want a rat to run rampant around my apartment? Because that's absolutely ridiculous. So she was like, sorry, they're not available today. So what did I do? I packed all of my stuff and I got the fuck out of my apartment because I'm not staying here. So I'm a flight attendant. So my job ended up calling me for a 4-day trip. So my friend was nice enough to come to my apartment when pest control came and let them in. So they double checked the seal in my closet. They checked everywhere in my apartment, and the pest control guy was basically saying that it looks like it was coming from underneath my kitchen sink because there's like piping back there as well where the pipe's coming through the floor. Again, there was like a hole there that wasn't sealed up properly. He put a rat trap underneath the sink and then he put one underneath my couch. Now the maintenance guy was supposed to come the following day to seal up the hole. Next day rolls around, he says he has a meeting, he couldn't come. Keep in mind, I've met my maintenance guy before because I had an issue with like water drainage in my shower. He's a really nice guy. He's super nice, and I honestly believe him when he said he had something going on because he has been trying to help me with this whole situation. But anyways, then he got sick and went to the hospital, so he wasn't able to come. So I think he came like 4 days later to seal up the hole, and I still wasn't there. I was still staying with my parents' house after I got back from my trip because I was not going to my apartment. I had my days off and I was like, I'm not staying there. So he pulled out my fridge, pulled out my oven, and sealed all along the edges, sealed the hole underneath my sink. So I'm thinking everything's fine. Right, I forgot to mention, before I went to my parents' house, I came back home after my work trip and I ended up finding like a piece of rat poop in my bathroom, and I was like, screw this. I had 5 days off, so then I went to go stay with my parents. So while I was away, the maintenance guy sealed up the hole. Everything was supposed to be fine. So I get back to my apartment on the 18th. So I get home, I set my stuff down, and then I'm chilling in bed. I've only been home for like 25 minutes at this point. I start hearing noises in the closet again. I hear the rat running around everywhere, running on the plastic bags, running up my broom. When I tell you I had a mental breakdown, I called my friend bawling my eyes out and asked to go stay at her place because I was over it. I was fed up. I was so freaked out. I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I texted my landlord, but it's on a Saturday. It was a weekend. It was a Saturday. She doesn't answer on the weekend. She turns her phone off, which is also a problem because if there was ever an emergency or an issue, I wouldn't be able to contact her, just like I wasn't able to contact her about the rat being in my apartment again. So I had also texted the maintenance guy. He ended up responding to me on Sunday. So Sunday morning when I was at my friend's house, he texted me saying, I'll be there in 2 hours. I'm so sorry this is happening. I can't believe this. I'll go like check everything out. So he comes, he's double checking the closet and everything. And then the AC units are like kind of big. So he was saying that he possibly has to go like on the roof or whatever to see if there's a hole, like, you know, somewhere in the closet that they're coming through that he can't really see in the closet because it's so small. So he ended up moving the rat trap from underneath my couch into the closet. So I had sent my landlord a long message about everything that was going on, and I'll add that in right now. So Monday the 20th rolls around. I have not gotten a response yet, but at 2 o'clock she messaged in our WhatsApp group chat. It's all of the tenants and nobody can message in there. She is the only one that can send messages, and she was basically talking about like the safety of the apartment and like making sure you close like the main door so, you know, packages and stuff don't get stolen. Then make sure you're throwing out your trash properly to maintain the cleanliness of the place, which is so funny because it's not clean if I have rats in my apartment. But she sends that at 2 o'clock, yet she still had yet to respond to me. So I texted her and I was like, hey, I just saw your message in the group chat. I was just wondering when you were gonna have time to like respond to my text. So I'll add the messages in, but I just really didn't like her response because I feel like she just disregarded like everything that I was saying. But essentially she was saying that pest control was supposed to come back and how like it's unacceptable that, you know, this is still happening. So I ended up asking her for a partial refund for my rent this month because from the 9th until the 19th I have not been able to stay in my apartment. So she said that she was going to talk to the guy that owns the building, and they ended up saying that they were going to prorate the days that I like wasn't staying here, and she was going to take $669 off of my rent for February. So on the 19th and the 20th, I ended up sleeping here. I had not heard any noises, did not see anything. So pest control was supposed to come yesterday. Yesterday was the 21st at 8 a.m. and nobody came. Apparently the technician that was supposed to come, his wife was going into labor, whatever shit happened. So she said someone else can come at 3 or someone can come tomorrow at 8 a.m. I ended up telling her to have them come today at 8 a.m. because I had stuff to do and I wouldn't be home by 3 p.m. I am so glad I did that. Want to know why? Because I heard the rat again. I woke up at 4 in the morning. That rat was crawling around my AC closet for 2 hours. So I was wide awake. I heard the rat trap go off. I heard this thing flipping around in the closet like, you know, I guess because it was dying. And I woke up this morning to this. And that leads us to now, 8:28 in the morning. Pest control has still yet to arrive. So at this point, if they don't figure out where these rats are coming in and out from, like, I'm gonna have to break my lease. I don't have money for that. I'm going to try to tell her that she's gonna need to break it for free because this is like not my fault and this is ridiculous. There's no reason why I should be living with rats. I also forgot to mention the first time this happened, every single apartment had rats. However, as of right now, I'm the only one that is still dealing with this issue. So pest control did come yesterday and he showed up like an hour late, but whatever. It's the same guy who had come originally to like set up the rat traps. So he was double checking the seal at the bottom of my closet to see if somehow, some way, like the rats had eaten through like the insulating foam. And I didn't know this, but my friend told me that rats will chew through that stuff like nothing and they'll be able to like get back inside my apartment. I had no idea, but anyways, he said that that was fine. So I was like, is there anywhere else that you could think of to where they would possibly be coming from? So he's checking my closet with a light, and lo and behold, where my AC unit sits, it goes through like the ceiling. So it goes up into the ceiling, and he said it goes straight into the attic. So the lining of the ceiling around like the AC unit, I'll put a photo right now, but there is a huge like gap that clearly they didn't fill, that the rats have been coming in from through the attic. Now what he also told me is that the attic is basically like almost like a third floor, like there's a lot of space up there. So that means that there has to be a hole in the ceiling or somewhere that they're coming in through the attic, and then they're going in through that hole into my apartment. So he grabbed a ladder and he was trying to like spray the foam, which I don't know why they have been trying to fix this problem with the foam, because the foam is like a minor fix to a major problem. So he tried, but like, one, the gap is too big, and two, you can literally not get behind the whole thing to like fill it with foam. So he told me that's like an issue for like the AC company or somebody else to come and fix. So anyways, he spilled some tea about like the whole situation. So I don't know if I told you guys, but when this issue first happened at the end of November, beginning of December, I was not the only one that had a rat problem. Everyone in the complex had a rat problem. He told me that there was a guy downstairs who had up and moved back to Chicago because he had 15 rats in his apartment. And he was like, I thought this guy was exaggerating when he told me he had like 10 plus rats in his unit. I thought he was joking. They had set up rat traps. He said one rat trap, caught 3 rats in one. And he's like, I've never seen that before in like my years of doing this profession. Had 15 plus rats in his unit. So he got so mad, he got all of his money back and broke his lease and left. Like, they gave him back his last security deposit and he left. I don't know, maybe he threatened them with a lawsuit or something like that. So it's giving I'm getting my money back some way, somehow. I don't care how hard I have to fight. He was also telling me that a unit across from me that also had rats behind like the cabinets that they built in the kitchen on the baseboard, like the floor was lifted up and there was a hole, so they were coming down through the walls going into the unit. And then he was also telling me that the gap that was underneath my sink where the rat got inside and like was eating my food and jumped across the table, it had gotten in from the hole in the back of my kitchen sink where the pipe was coming through. He was like, I don't know why, but they left a huge gaping floor in the hole that shouldn't have been there. So after all of that, I ended up texting the landlord, I guess. She's the manager of the building. She's not the owner of the building. This is what I sent to her. So you're gonna have to pause to read because it is super lengthy. I sent this text message at 10 in the morning yesterday. So from 10 in the morning up until now when I'm filming this video, it's 2:37 in the afternoon. I still have not received a response from her, which I think is absolutely disgusting because now you were made aware of the situation that there is a gaping hole in my unit where rats are coming in and out, and you're not going to do anything about it, and you're not going to say anything. Like, you are blatantly ignoring me, knowing that this is an issue and it's a health problem. Rats carry diseases and I could literally die from this. Like, the fact that they were already eating my food. Imagine if I hadn't seen the rat that morning and I went and ate the food or something like that. Like, I don't even want to think about that, but that could have happened. So at this point, she's pissing me the fuck off because I know that she has read my text and she has seen it. So just now I sent her a long message because I'm done. I feel like I have been way too nice about this whole situation. Like, at first I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt because I get that stuff happens, whatever. But like, at this point, this is a joke. It's been 2 months. 2 months, and the whole time I've been dealing with rats. Keep in mind, in December, I was working like every single day, so I wasn't home. So Remy and his whole family and the cast of Ratatouille could have been running around my apartment and I would have had no idea. But as of right now, since I'm blatantly being ignored, I am going to contact the health department and I'm going to try to go through the process of finding a lawyer and like filing some type of suit against her and the owner of the building, because by now he's been made aware of the situation in regards to like me getting my money back back some of my money back for this month since I haven't been able to live in my apartment, and they were going to give me $669 off of my rent for next month. As of right now, clearly my apartment is not livable with like a gaping hole in my ceiling. So I did tell her that I'm requesting back my rent from this month, my first, last, and security deposit ASAP so I can pack up my stuff and leave. This has been like so hard and it's taken a toll on me. Oh my god, I didn't think I was gonna cry. When I found this place, I was so happy because I was finally going to be living on my own, and I really loved this apartment and everything about it seemed so perfect. And I had been living at home with my parents, driving 3.5 hours to get to work, and I was doing that for so long. But then I saw this TikTok audio from this guy where he was like, you know, just take your next paycheck and get yourself an apartment, and that's what I did. And for the short time that I had it, like, I was the happiest that I had ever been, like, in so long. I felt like I was really starting to thrive and like have a routine and everything like that. But then all of this happened, and since all this happened, I just like, I haven't been sleeping, I haven't been eating properly, I've been so stressed, and was never a person to like stress like that, but now that this has been happening and I really noticed how much like stress takes a toll on you. So all of this really sucks, but I say all of that to say I'm in my apartment right now because today I'm currently starting to pack up my apartment and start the process of moving out. So anyways, where we left off, my landlord hadn't responded to me at the time, so I went ahead and texted the realtor, and she was telling me how to her the day before, the day that she had ignored my messages, saying that, you know, that she handled everything and everything was fine. But I said, she hasn't gotten back to me, everything is not fine, like nobody's come and sealed the hole or anything. So a little bit after I had texted her, texted me saying this. She was basically saying that like she didn't have her iMessage turned on and it was better to communicate through WhatsApp, which first of all, if that was the case, wouldn't you think that you would have told me this from the get-go? Like when all of this started and we were communicating, that it was better to reach you on there and you would respond faster. And also you can go in your settings to turn on and off iMessage. So I was like, that's bullshit. She said the handyman is gonna come and that she has a meeting with the owner of the building to talk about like what we can do, but she was like, we can't refund 2 months of rent. But then I sent her this message basically saying like, I don't need a handyman, like at this point, like this is something that's not fixable, and like I know someone else in the building got their money back, whatever. Those messages were on Thursday. So on Friday, she texted me on WhatsApp saying, hey, I'm waiting to have a meeting with the manager. She was like, can the maintenance man come? I was like, yeah, I just got home. So I hear talking in my hallway, and then I open up the door and it's the maintenance guy and then this random white guy. Essentially the maintenance guy was telling me like, oh, this is the new pest control that they hired. The guy had like no pest control like uniform logo like the other guys did. Didn't see like a car or anything outside. Based on what he was saying, like he knew what he was talking about. He was talking about how you have to stuff the hole with the wool and how the rats, like, you know, like the foam stuff. So anyways, I just found it so funny how like before she had this whole meeting, she hires like a whole new like company. So then she sends me an update saying like, hey, like don't think I'm ignoring you, like I have a meeting with the manager soon. She was talking about how he had already approved like the $669 off of my rent in February, which was to cover like the days that I couldn't stay in my apartment this month. And then she was like, let me ask you, like, would you be willing to like stay if we fix this issue by the end of the month? I sent her this whole message. You're gonna have to pause to read it. I was basically saying this is more than just sealing up holes or whatever. Like you have a rat infestation, you have a problem, like they're in the walls, they're dying in the walls, like, so ultimately I just want my money back, and no, I do not want to stay here. So anyways, yesterday morning I happened to actually finally talk to my neighbor because I was doing laundry and she had come out of her apartment. She was basically saying that no, they weren't still dealing with rat issues, however they've been like getting really stuffy and like sick, and that's how I've been feeling. I just chalked it up to like the cold or whatever. So they had like hired some like mold specialist or whatever to come in, and the lady was like doing that little scan thing where you scan the roof to see if there's any moisture, and my neighbor had told her about like the rat issue, and she was like, yeah, it's probably like the rats like peeing like all over the ceiling, like possibly causing mold, and that's like why we're feeling like this. Then she was also telling me like the amount of people that we have, like the units that we have, because this was 2 townhomes that they built into like 8 different apartments, so the amount of people per the amount of trash cans they have outside is not legal. And then since there's so many people, they fill up so fast, so half the time I can't throw my trash out because it's filled to the top and like overflowing on the floor. So I think that's what attracted the rats in the first place, and then that's how like they found their way in with all of like the structural issues in the building. So essentially like the way that they built this place, when they built the upstairs, she was saying that they built it with like sheetrock or something, so there's gaps in the walls, so they're crawling through the walls, like in the ceilings, pooping everywhere. And also in our lobby, like when you walk into the main lobby before I go upstairs to my unit, it smells like rancid. It smelled like absolute trash, rotten trash for the past 2 weeks, and it's most likely because there's dead rats like in the walls. And then she also like knew and talked to the guy that used to live downstairs that moved back to Chicago because he had 15 rats in his apartment. So basically I communicated all of this in the message that I sent Gabby, how I wanted all of my money back. Told her that I spoke with the previous tenant, but I didn't. Then she sends this message saying that, oh, I think you're talking about this guy. Then she goes on to say like how disrespectful he was. At least you're like a more sensible person. I'm like, I don't really care about that, but like whatever. So then she was saying that they could refund my last month's rent that I paid when I first moved in, my security deposit, and then the $669 for the days that I couldn't stay in my unit for this month. Then she asked, could I confirm when I can move out? And then I sent her this whole message, so just pause, take your time to read everything. But essentially I was saying that I deserve like my whole month's rent back for the month of January, because not only was I not able to stay here for most of the month, even since the hole has been discovered, there's still a hole in there, nobody's come to seal it up, so the living conditions are not like suitable, so therefore I shouldn't even be paying rent for this month. I wish I hadn't have paid that. So I'm like, I need that back, because if I sued her, make her not only give me my money back for this month, but probably for the whole time that I've lived here, for November and December as well. Then she sent me this message basically saying that she was going to talk to the owner again about getting a full refund from this month, and then she was asking me like if the handyman could come today to like come seal up the hole and everything, and then when I could possibly move out by. So anyways, after I told her when I could like possibly move out, a few hours later she sent me a message asking me to send her my Zelle. So then she Zelled me $4,700, so that would be $1,850 for my security deposit, $1,850 for my last month's rent, and $1,000 only for this month. So she went from $669 for this month to $1,000. So at first I was just gonna leave it at that, and because I was just so fed up and drained from this whole situation, I was like, you know what, I'll just take that and just go about my business. But then I happened to talk to my neighbor again, and she was basically saying like, no, you should fight and like advocate for yourself, because what they're doing is so wrong, and like pretty much I was treated so like poorly. Like this whole month I've been in shambles and just have not been able to like eat, sleep, whatever. Like I've said, I've just been going through it. So I was like, you know what, hell yeah, you're right. So then I sent a follow-up message, which I'll put right here. I was basically saying like, oh hey, you know, it's adding up the amount that you sent me, and it looks like you only sent me $1,000 for this month, and I was requesting the full month's rent back. I was like, let's be realistic. Once I move out, you're gonna seal up that hole and rent it right back to somebody else. You're gonna make that money back easily. I was like, it's only $850, and I was like, I can either take you to court and get that back plus some, or we can just take the easy route and you can just give it back to me, because I'm sure that you don't want to go through that either. So I sent that message like late last night, I think at like 10 o'clock. So it is currently 10:53 in the morning. I still have yet to hear from her, so I'm waiting to hear back if I could just get the rest of the $850, because if I can get that back, I'm totally fine. Like I'll take that money and leave whatever, because I honestly don't want to be here. I'm glad my neighbor told me that, because I took the time to think about it and thought better about it, and I was like, you know what, like I've gone through so much shit. $850 is nothing compared to the amount of like stress and shit that you put me through with this whole situation. So you can give me back the $850. So that's where we're at right now. My friend's coming over a little bit later to bring boxes and help me pack up everything. I don't know what I'm gonna do or where I'm gonna go, because I cannot afford anything else in Miami, South Florida. Everything else is way out of my budget. Also, like I said, I am a flight attendant, so I'm on call with my job, and they only give you like 2 hours when they call you to get to the airport. So if I were to go back to my parents' house, they live like near Sarasota, which is 3.5 hours away. I couldn't do that with my job because I wouldn't make it to work on time. So I'm trying to figure out where to put my stuff, where I can go, like how the situation is going to play out. I don't know. Everything has happened so fast, so I feel like I'm just I don't know. So I've been packing up my apartment. This is pretty much all I have left. I just have my bedding and then like just my random stuff that I use every day, my laundry. I just have to pack up this last bathroom stuff. And then I packed up my whole kitchen. I just have this little bit of like trash and stuff left over that I have to put in my car. My futon, I still don't know what to do with this. Tried to sell it, but it's just such a short amount of time that I don't think anybody's gonna buy it. I'm not even gonna bother opening that. I have a mop in there and I refuse to touch it. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have left. I think I'm gonna pack up the rest of my car tonight and then drive to my parents' house. I've finally reached the acceptance stage of this whole thing, so I'm just glad that I'm leaving. I also think I've been getting sick from this apartment, maybe because of the mold. When you walk into the lobby, you know that mold smell? It kind of smells like that, and I've been like super congested and stuff, so I think it's from that. that. But anyways, I'm still on the hunt for an apartment. Everything's so expensive, so I have been looking for like roommates on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff. I don't want a roommate, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Also, y'all, my car got towed yesterday. I was already stressed about everything and I was like, this is the last thing that I went outside, my car was gone. Like, oh my god, where is it? So I called the police department, and first of all, the lady on the phone was an absolute B. She was so rude for no reason. Anyway, I had to go get my car and it was $222. I was like, what's going on? Did somebody curse me? Like, is this karma? What did I do? Literally, my car, I've parked my car there for like 2 months. Park there all the time. The school across the street and it's like in front of the school. It was also Sunday. The school was closed, but they had towed my car like as soon as I went upstairs. Apparently it's a passenger loading zone, but the sign is all the way towards the back. So like if you don't drive all the way that way, you don't see it. But I never drive that way, so I never saw it. Anyways, technically it's my fault. Sorry, don't mind my appearance. I slept in my makeup last night and my clothes because I have not had a good night's rest in weeks because of these damn rats. So I got to my parents' house last night at like 10 o'clock and I slept in today until like 12 in the afternoon, and that's the best sleep that I have had in a while. I just need to know who cursed me, because first I had rats in my apartment, okay? So when I had come back home and I had the rat in my closet, I went to stay at my friend's house. What I didn't tell you guys is that she had a rat in her house. She had left the door open, somehow a rat got in, and when I was cleaning the kitchen, I heard it. So she was trying to get it outside, move stuff, and it ran across the kitchen underneath like the oven. So I get home, I was just sitting on my couch and my dad comes in and he was like, somebody has rats. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's a dead rat in the driveway. And I'm like, you're joking. And he was like, no, come look. Okay, trigger warning, I'm gonna show you a photo. I step outside, this is what I see. There's a dead rat smack dab in the middle of our driveway. Honestly, it looks like somebody just placed it there, but I think I'm cursed. Somebody cursed me, because what is going on? These rats seem to be following me everywhere I go now, and at this point, I'm done. I don't know what this means, but I'm gonna need whoever cursed me to reverse that shit, because I'm afraid of rat. I can't do it anymore, okay? I'm done.
Man, that's crazy. I'm surprised she was able to get her money back. Most people wouldn't have got their money back, would have been hassle. To me, I think she just needs to take the money that they gave her. Don't worry about the extra. I understand that, but it's going to be so much lawyer fees. And my thing is, whoever the hell that neighbor was that told you that, why they're not doing it? That's even crazier that the neighbor told you to fight for it, and the neighbor didn't do nothing about it either. They said the one guy downstairs, 15 rats. Man, you lying to me. 1750? And they probably been doing people like that for a long time, man. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Have y'all ever had an experience like that? Have you ever moved in somewhere thinking, man, this is my first spot, man? Man, I got independent. Some people have moved in and didn't know that they was an apartment building full of roaches or full of drugs or whatever the case may be. So y'all tell me in y'all comment section, have y'all ever experienced something like this? Because this right here is crazy as hell. Peace.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.
You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide. You'll have to decide.